What if I told you that there's a man, almost 100 years old, who wakes up every day without an alarm and doesn't take a single pill? His name is John. He's 99. Every morning he wakes up with a smile, he makes his own breakfast, rides a bicycle, reads books without glasses, and most importantly, he lives without fear of aging. One day, he said a simple phrase: "The secret to my longevity isn't that I didn't age, it's that I didn't get in the way of my own life." In this video, we'll show you exactly what John does every morning and why this simple habit jumpstarts his metabolism, cleanses his blood vessels, strengthens his heart, and literally shifts his body from survival mode into living mode. It's not a morning workout. It's not a superfood. It's something anyone can do, regardless of age or health condition. And the best part? It only takes a few minutes, but it can transform your entire day. And from your days, your whole life. Watch until the end, because in the final moments, you'll hear John himself share the words he repeats every morning, like a prayer, a setting of intention, a formula for long life. And maybe they'll become yours too. John's morning doesn't begin with coffee. It begins with silence, with himself. What do most of us do? We wake up and immediately grab our phones, news, messages, noise, the rush, the to-do list. But John does things differently. Each morning, after opening his eyes, he doesn't jump out of bed. He lies still for a few more minutes and breathes. Consciously, deeply, calmly. "I give myself permission to be alive and grateful before I start doing anything," he says. Here's what his ritual looks like. He places one hand on his belly, closes his eyes, even if he's already awake, and takes 10 slow breaths in and out through his nose, feeling his belly rise and fall, the air moving through his body, without rushing, without thinking. This simple breathing practice activates the vagus nerve, the very same one responsible for calm, restoration, and balance between the body's systems. It also gently transitions the body out of nighttime autopilot into a state of conscious presence. John believes, if you start the day in silence, the world around you won't need to shout as much. This morning breathing ritual lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, stabilizes blood pressure, helps the heartbeat evenly, and sends a clear message to the brain: today, I'm living, not just surviving. Next, we'll share John's second habit, the one he calls anti-inflammatory medicine without pills. He does it every day before breakfast, and he says this one action clears the mind like water cleanses the hands. Every morning, John drinks warm water. But not just water. He drinks it with intention. It might sound too simple to be powerful, right? But this one habit, drinking warm water on an empty stomach, is at the core of John's longevity. And not just his. Thousands of others who have lived well into their 90s, with a clear mind and light body, share it too. "I start the day like a tree after the rain," John says. "Until the roots are hydrated, the branches won't carry life." Here's what he does. Right after his breathing ritual, before any food, coffee, or conversation, John slowly drinks one glass of warm, not hot, water. Sometimes he adds a few drops of lemon or a thin slice of ginger. What does this do for the body? It activates intestinal movement, gently waking up the digestive system, thins the blood after it is thickened overnight, stimulates the liver and gallbladder, helping the body start the day in detox mode rather than storage mode, boosts brain function, since dehydration is a major reason for morning brain fog. And more than that, warm water helps balance internal temperature and reduces stress on the cardiovascular system. This is especially important after age 60, when even the simplest action can bring a profound effect. But the magic isn't just in the water. It's in how it's consumed. John always drinks slowly, with pauses, sitting by the window. It's as if he's telling his body, here is life. I begin it calmly, with respect. And in return, life treats me the same way. The third habit, body swaying, a movement that awakens energy effortlessly. John doesn't jog. He doesn't do crunches. And he doesn't stretch on a yoga mat. Every morning, he simply gets up, stands barefoot on the floor, straightens his back, and begins to gently, slowly sway his body. "I don't force myself to move," he says. "I allow movement to come to me." The motion looks simple. Feet are parallel, knees slightly soft, arms hang loosely by his sides, and he starts to sway gently from side to side, as if a wave is passing through his whole body, from his heels to the back of his head. What happens during this moment? Joints wake up without any strain. The lymphatic system is activated, clearing out stagnant fluids. Microcirculation in the brain improves, especially as the neck arteries begin to open. Morning stiffness fades, particularly in the lower back and legs. And most importantly, the body doesn't enter stress mode, but rhythm mode. A gentle flow. This movement takes just 3 to 5 minutes. But according to John, it sends a message to the body. You're not old, you're alive. After this soft activation, he walks slowly around the room in small circles, as if sketching the day with his feet before it even begins. It's not a workout, it's not an obligation, it's a language of love toward the body. And thanks to this ritual, John still walks to the store on his own, climbs stairs with ease, and says, when you start your morning in motion, your body remembers what it means to be alive. The fourth habit, 2 minutes of silence with the question, what am I grateful for today? No affirmations, no perfect meditations, just 2 minutes of silence and one question. John sits by the window, not necessarily with a view, just enough light, and holding a cup of warm water, he looks out into space and asks himself, what has this life already given me? Then he stays quiet until the thought comes on its own, and usually it's not loud, it's simple. That I woke up without pain, that my grandson called yesterday, that my hands can still lift this cup, that song I randomly heard yesterday. This small act rewires the nervous system, because a mind that wakes up focused on lack, fear, and tasks suddenly shifts to gratitude, trust, and inner strength. Science confirms a daily gratitude practice lowers levels of stress hormones, increases serotonin, and directly affects longevity by reducing systemic inflammation. But John doesn't think about the science. He just knows, if I don't remember why I love this life in the morning, my body will go through the day as if there's nothing in it worth living for. The fifth habit, say one promise to yourself out loud for the day knowing. It might sound almost childlike, but this is the habit John calls his daily inner compass. Not for anyone else, not in front of a mirror, not for show, for himself, calmly, listening to what within him wants to be heard. He says, I don't let the day take me without my permission. So every morning, after all his quiet rituals, John speaks one sentence out loud. It's not an affirmation, it's an intention. Today, I'll be gentler with myself. I won't let fear make my decisions. I'll notice at least one small joy. I'll live this day with dignity, not by accident. It's like a quiet word to himself, but it sets the tone for everything that follows. Because, as John puts it, if you don't tell yourself who you want to be today, the world will, and it's not always kind. This habit creates inner focus, reduces mental noise, and most importantly, gives you a sense of choice, even in old age. And maybe that's why John isn't just living long, he lives every day fully, never putting himself on pause. 99-year-old John doesn't take superfoods. He doesn't follow trendy advice. He simply does 5 things every morning that cost nothing, require no strength, but return peace to the body, meaning to the soul, and depth to the day. Tell us in the comments, which of these habits feels closest to your heart? And what would you like to try starting tomorrow? And to never miss more true stories of longevity, subscribe to the channel. Because the greatest secrets aren't in labs. They live in the hearts of those who know how to say thank you to life. Take care of yourself, and remember, every morning is a chance to begin a long life again.